First, let's start with this simple example of loading an external file into our SAS dataset. To upload an external file, we always start with a file name statement followed by the file name and the file path. And we just begin with a simple data step, starting with an e-file statement followed by the file name and the options for the delimiter. Since this file is specially splitted by a comma, so the options for delimiter is also a comma. And the next step just ordinary steps for a common data step. Um, the second example here is also uploading an external file. So before we upload our file from the external source, we would like to view the file in a text form. We could easily see that the first three rows of the data set is irrelevant to the data, so we do not want to include them into our SAS program. So we add another two options in our in-file statement with first observation as 4 and the last observation as 6. So if we run the file, wait a minute, we could see that only the fourth to the sixth row of the original external file is included in our SAS dataset. Uh, our next example is about how to output an existing SAS dataset to an external source. Wait a minute. Just cancel the comments. Let me see what's happening here. Yep, change. Good. So we would like to output this data set into our external file, which is whose file name is data out and whose file path is this one. So we also start with a data step. So after the common input statement, we add another file statement, which indicates which file to be outputted, and also followed by a put statement, which indicates which variables to include into our external file. So we run this line of code. Yep. And we found a new file here, and we open it. Yep, exactly what the data we want to include. Oh, comment this one, and we move on to the next part. The next part is about how to create new variables in a data set. So we first input our data set about the students, which include 5 variables: student ID, student's gender, the student's school type, his or her reading score, and the writing score. We would like to add another column, which is the total score, which is also the sum of the reading score and the writing score. So we set up a new data step, followed by a set statement indicating which data set we want to create new variables from. And after the set statement, we add another line of the total score, and which is also the sum of the reading and the writing score, and the next followed as a common data step. A different way of creating new variables is you add another line of the input statement. So we also want to create the new variable total score from the same data set. So after the input data step, we add this line about how the new variable total score is formed. So next we just type in the data to be inputted. So we run this chunk of code. Yeah, we have the same data sets from the two different methods. The five variables we inputted and the new variable we added as a total score. The next example is about how to uh, modify or create a new variable using the if-then statement. Yep, I also would like to use the same data sets of the students. Uh, so here we want to transform the student's reading score to a reading grade. So we start with a common data step. First starting with a set statement. Then we have four lines of the if-then sentence with the condition here and how the new variable would look like here. Uh, then we run this chunk of code. So and move to the right. Wait a minute, what's happening here? Oh, we forgot to print the dataset 3. Yes, now, um, data here, students type, writing score. Let's see what's happening in the log procedure. Data students 3. Oops. Let me find out what's happening here. Reading score, writing score here. Uh, Modify a little bit in the reading grade part. Yeah. Always remember to use the both the wrong here. Indicate. Oh, now we have what we wanted. We had a new column of the reading grade here added to the original data set. So our first example will use the same data set, which tells us we can both we can include two different modifications of the variables in the same program. Here, first is the original data set called students. We first add a total score. Then we also have another score, another variable called total grade, which is based on the student's reading score. That is, we do two modifications together in one program chunk. So now we run the code. Yes, the output print, you can see that we have a total score variable here and a total grade variable here, which means we can do two modifications together in one chunk. Next, we would like to show how the keep and the drop statements are used. We use the same data sets, the student's data set, and first we set up a new data step with a new data set called the student's job, where after the set statement, we add a job statement, where we only job the job statement, we only job the read variable and keep all the rest variables. Um, the next we would like to use the keep statement to achieve the same goal, where we keep all the variables except the reading score. Now we run this chunk of program. Uh, Result here. It looks like we forgot to include the female part here, but it doesn't matter. Also, how to use the keep and drop statement. The next example we would like to show is how to split one data set into two. Here we still use the student data set, and we would like to split this data set into two, which one of them consists of the male students, while the other consists only the female students. We screwed. We first start with a data step, but we would like to add two names of two different data sets. That is, we add the boys data set and the girls data set after the data statement. And first things first, we should set the original data set and followed by a if and then statement. We also have to use the output statement here. That is, if the student is female, we output it to the girls data set. Otherwise, we output to the boys data set. Now run this chunk of data. Yeah, we could see the printed results, which consists of one female student and two male students here. The next example we would like to show, the final example is that, the final part of this lecture is about how to combine different data sets. Now we comment this one. Before we show how to combine different data sets, we would like first to show how a sort procedure is worked. First, we have to type in the data, which includes information of different marine species from different families. Now we perform the sort procedure, which starts with the data statement, which indicates which data you have to input as the original data, and also an output data here, followed by the out statement. We want to output our data into a new data set called the C sort. We would like to sort them according to the length of the species and also group by family. And about the sorting procedure, which is sorted according to length, we want them to be sorted in a descending order. Now we perform this chunk of program. Now we could check that the marine species are separated into two families, the shark family and the whale family. And for each family, each species is arranged according to the length of that species in a descending order. Now, after we introduce the sort procedure, we would like to show how we can, using the sort procedure, to combine different data sets. First, we have to input our two different data sets, the year 1998 and the year 1999, and we would like to combine them all together according to the date. So before we do the combination, we first have to sort the both data sets according to the date. That is, the date are arranged in an ascending order. And then we set up a new data set called combine2. And we also have to use the set statement first. And we would like to combine them according to the date. And we also have another different method for combine two different data sets, which use merge statement. We use them the same as the set statement. We begin with a simple word merge, and we include the name of the two data sets we would like to combine. And now we run this chunk of program. Let's see how these two different methods would work. Okay, let's see. Although we are trying to combine those two data sets from two different methods, and we can see that those two different methods works differently. It is easy to check that if we use the set statement and all the observations from data sets are all combined all together, but for the merge method, it only shows one observation from the observation from the two data sets which has the same date. That is, if we would like to use the merge method to combine two different data sets, the number of observations of the final data set is the same as the number of the observations from the data set with the most observations. So if we have two observations from two data sets which have the same date, for example, for our year 1998 and year 1999, we only include one of the observations. That is, if the two data sets shares common observations, the second observation from the second data set will replace the first one in our final output.